I have 2 seed packages here to open up today. I'm so excited, as always. Seeds are like my favorite thing to get in the mail, and seed shopping is one of my, can you call shopping a hobby? Hi everybody, this is Aubrey, Crybaby Settlement Homestead, and today we are going to be looking at some seeds from a vendor I haven't ordered from before. It's called Mizz Tizzy's Weeds and Seeds, and then Oldies But Goodies, Baker Creek. Since I haven't ordered from Mizz Tizzy before, I want to go ahead and start with this order, if you don't mind. Any objections? Overruled! I'm just kidding. The package includes really cool information, like on how to handle your seeds. And I did get this from her Etsy shop. And I'm pretty impressed with the information she included here. Talks about smudging, controlling aphids and pests, and some garden warnings. This is pretty neat. And it also includes like a recipe for a mosquito repellent. Wonderful. So it includes catnip, tulsi, lemon balm, sweet anise, and peppermint. Very, very neat. It also includes information about herbal helpers like willow tea, wormwood, pyrethrum. Talks about food insecurity. Wow. Very, very neat. So I'm going to go ahead and start looking at the seeds now, if you don't mind. I am already really impressed with this company, this lady who's selling her seeds, Mizz Tizzy's Weeds and Seeds. So it has each seed variety. At first I thought, oh my gosh, am I just getting information? Did I misread? Am I just getting like little booklets about information? But like this one here has Scarlet runner beans, not beads. And I love growing them. And each one has like a pamphlet. Very cool. And, you know, information about the seeds. And then the seeds are like stapled on the inside. Very neat. So that's the Scarlet runner beans, which I grow all the time in my garden. And then this one here. Okay. Black oil sunflower. And the seeds are here. And then the information is around it. That's pretty neat. Like, it's a good idea. Like, the seeds are right here, but then they have like all the information and it's together. I love that. So got the marshmallow plant with the information. Medicinal folklore. Very cool. What is this? Is this a recipe? Oh my gosh. It has a recipe. Okay, so you got your seeds here. You've got planting information, historical information, a recipe. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. And how to grow it. Marshmallow. Beautiful plant. I also ordered some swamp milkweed for the pollinators. Oh, wow. I love this. It's like all the information you would get on the commercial or a website with the seeds. And this is way more information than can fit on a seed packet. Oh, I hope people are seeing this and will go online and order from her. So this is the swamp milkweed. Oh, this is very cool. So I've actually tried planting the Birdhouse gourd before. And this one actually, I think she like lost track of which was which, so they're mixed together. So some of the seeds are Birdhouse gourds and some are dipper gourds. And I guess you'll know what they are once they grow. And what I think is really cool about the gourds, one thing is the seeds look like little frogs. And I know that sounds funny, but let me pull them out and I'll show you. See how the seeds, I think this seed looks like a little frog. It looks like a little African water frog. We used to have those as pets a long time ago. But I swear it looks like little frogs. Like this would be its little face. And these would be the little legs in the back. And the gourd seeds like this look very similar. So I can understand how she would lose track of which one is which. So they're mixed together. So it's like basically 2 different types of seeds for the price of one. And I would be interested in growing either of them. So I'm super excited about growing them. And even growing it just for the flowers. Gourd flowers are so beautiful. And the Birdhouse gourd has white, kind of iridescent flowers. So even if I don't get the gourds out of them, it's very ornamental. Bag material is kind of like what you'd have for like candies. That's actually a really good idea. I think it can breathe a little bit. It's probably better than using plastic like I use. But I like it. Nice. I also bought this Whorled Milkweed, and I have never heard of this particular variety before. So this is a native North American plant. It's critical to the survival of many different species of butterflies. And the leaf pattern is going to look different than the ones that I have seen before. And it's so funny. I actually planted milkweed and then forgot about it. And when I saw it pop up, I thought it was a weed. And I weeded it out. So make sure you label your plants accordingly. Milkweed does look like a weed, and it is a weed, but it is something that's very beneficial. So a weed is just anything that's not wanted. So I guess you can't call it a weed in my garden because it's wanted. So you got the seeds, information about folklore. Okay, nice. And how to plant it. I think Mizz Tizzy's Etsy shop is one of my new favorite vendors, honestly. So this is Papalo, and I do have seeds already, but I know we're going to love it. So I decided to get some more and support her shop. And it has a really strong cilantro flavor, and I know my husband will love it. So I decided to buy some more of these seeds, and that's kind of what the seed heads look like. It looks kind of like a dandelion when the seeds are growing or forming. And it talks about the medicinal benefits. And then it has a recipe for salsa verde. Love that. So she's pretty cool. I like this lady. Like, I love the information she's included. She's got the growing information. She's got historical and folklore and medicinal stuff and some recipes. So that's a great value because you're not just getting the seeds, you're also getting her experience and her research, which is fabulous. Okay, so this one here is called Fish Pepper, and it has, one of the reasons I bought it is because look at the leaves. They're variegated. So the peppers are beautiful. The leaves are very ornamental, and I just thought that was gorgeous. So I might not plant them this year because peppers are kind of slow, but I'll probably plant it for next year. Just because I have a lot of things that I need to get started. And I've got lots of tomatoes and peppers and that kind of stuff. Which I feel like at this point, I'm not going to be planting any more tomato pepper seeds. I will be planting like eggplants and ground cherries. And a bunch of other, annuals soon. But I don't think that right now for myself that I'd be interested in planting more peppers this year. I'll be planting them for next year. So the next seed packet we have here is called Pleurisy Root. Now, I probably have a lot of these varieties already, but I like to get different genetics. And one thing before I started ordering from her, I wasn't really looking at the scientific name for the plant. I just thought Pleurisy Root. And then I noticed, this is also called butterfly weed. I noticed that the genus here is the same genus as here. So this was the swamp milkweed. I'm not going to say that. Or maybe I'll try. Asclepias incarnata and Asclepias tuberosa. So they're in the same genus. And this is swamp milkweed. and this is butterfly weed. And they're in the same genus, so that's really interesting. Now, this is an endangered species, so I'm going to make it a priority to grow these. It's really important. It's important work to plant plants which are endangered. Okay, so you have the instructions, and you have folklore, pictures, seeds, and you have the instructions. And it does tell you it's poisonous if eaten in large quantities by grazing animals. So you don't want to feed this to your animals or to yourself. This is for the butterflies. Love it. These are the Mexican sour gherkins. I've planted them before, and mine was not very prolific, but I think it had to do with my soil. But it had the tiniest, like 1 or 2 tiny little watermelon shaped fruits. And I would say a regular, like a cucumber, tastes better. But for the novelty of growing these, I just think it's adorable. I want to pose them with like some action figures or something. It's just too funny. But definitely want to grow these. They're adorable. Something to talk about in the garden. They don't taste bad. They just don't taste as good as like a regular cucumber. But I do like them, and they're definitely a novelty. Super cute. Great information. As I saw on the other packets, wonderful information that she's included here with her seeds. Nice. Thank you. I also bought this dark mullein. Now, I will tell you, I have so many mullein seeds. It's ridiculous. I have like cups of mullein seeds. It's crazy. Once you plant them, if you don't plant a sterile type, sterile meaning like no seeds, I don't plant sterile mullein. I plant like a weedy mullein that's going to have a lot of seeds for me because I am a seed addict. I love seeds. I just think they're wonderful, beautiful, precious. It's like treasure to me. So I like to plant types that are not sterile. And this is different than what I've planted because my mullein has yellow flowers. And as you can see, these are not yellow. Isn't that lovely? I just love it. I think it's so pretty. So this one is called Dark Mullein or Album. And it's a very long blooming, and this is a reseeder. It's not sterile. If you're afraid of them becoming invasive or taking over, then you want to get a sterile variety and plant it in a pot. But I like it. I don't mind weeds. I don't mind certain things that some people would find irritating. I'm just like that. And you got the information here, folklore, history. Oh, that's cool. Ulysses. What? Okay, I know I have my homework for me. My homework is going to be to read all through this information. And you got your seeds in here. Tiny little seeds. And that's why they reseed so easily is because even if you're harvesting most of your seeds, some of them are going to flutter down into the soil and you'll find them everywhere, which is a good problem to have. Dig them up, repot them, sell them, give them away. It's wonderful. And I am really excited because how pretty they are. And of course, mullein has its place in a permaculture garden. Wonderful things about mullein. And we'll have to do a separate video on that because mullein is amazing. And I'm definitely going to be growing this toothache plant because one reason, look how ornamental this is. It's so crazy looking. This would be fun in a kid's garden because it looks like an eyeball, like a creepy eyeball. But it also has a medicinal property where you like chew the leaves and it actually numbs your mouth. So if you have a toothache, this is the plant that you want. And it's also called the eyeball plant. I think one year, the seeds didn't germinate for me, but I bought like this like little kit for kids. And it had like they were calling like a celosia plant. They're calling it like the brain plant because the leaves look like a brain. And then they had the eyeball plant, which was the toothache plant. They had all these different weird things, and they're calling them different creepy parts of the body or something. And it was a pretty expensive kit. So you can make your own little kit like that too by planting celosia and then planting the Toothache Plant. And you could have your own little creepy children's garden. That would be kind of fun. You got your medicinal and folklore information. And remember, though, be careful when you're looking at folklore medicine. Make sure you do your own research. Always do your own research and look up the information. Because just because it's been used in the past doesn't mean that it's safe. So you always want to look it up. I think this probably is, but you need to do your own diligence and always look up your own double check, triple check your information. And also look for like counter introduct in I can't speak today. If there's issues with different things together, you want to make sure that things are not going to interfere with medications you're taking, or if there are different herbs that shouldn't be taken together, or if someone's pregnant or something. You always need to do your due diligence. So there's a blend here for making a tea. That's interesting. And it specifically says, do not use a metallic pan. Okay. Very good information. I love it. And I'm going to do my own reading on this and some more research. I love the way this looks. It's so cool. Next variety is called Saltwort. This is take 2 because we have a lot of coughing and sniffling in the background. But one of the things I wanted to point out about this particular plant is I've recently seen some videos online, and I'm going to have to try it myself, where they grow the saltwort and they dry it and powder it and use saltwort in place of salt. I think that's a very clever idea. And you see the scientific name down here. Salsola Camarovi? Anyway, I don't know how to say it. And this is awesome. Okay, you want to help with germination. It has some tips here, like mixing in mushroom compost. I tried to get mushroom compost and could not get it. I'll have to try again because it says it's going to help with germination. And you want to mimic a ocean environment where you fertilize with fish emulsion. So I tried planting this before and didn't do well, and I definitely did not take this step. That's probably why I failed. I'm going to read all of her information later, and when I plant it and it's growing, I'll do some more update videos because I think this is a really worthwhile plant to grow. If you can't get your hands on these seeds, I would highly recommend that you at least grow a plant called purslane. Purslane is an edible weed, and for years I would see it growing out of the concrete, or I'd find it in my garden and I didn't know what it was, and I finally looked it up. I use PlantNet or something to identify it. The purslane plant doesn't taste salty. It tastes sour like lemon, and it has omega-3 fatty acids. So if you're trying to get something that has benefits like this plant, but you don't have the funds, you can look for purslane. Now, what I did was, when I first grew purslane, is I picked out a plant out of a sidewalk. And I didn't eat it because I knew that there'd be fumes and oil or whatever and germs. But I took it and I replanted it. And when it had flowers and seeds, I put the seeds all over. And then from there, I started propagating it as a weed. That's a way to get free seeds. But purslane also has a cultivated variety as well that grows a little bit more upright and erect. And if you want to grow that, it's a wonderful idea. I have thousands of purslane seeds because I like to sprinkle it all around all my other plants and grow it. But I love that she has this fettuccine. I love fettuccine, but I think I would replace the fettuccine noodles with mushrooms because I'm watching my carbs. And it looks like a wonderful variety. Get it. This variety here is called English Plantain. And I know I'm kind of silly for even buying it because you literally can find plantain growing wild. And actually just a day or two ago, I have some like narrow leaf plantain growing in the front yard, and I just took the seeds off the little flower head and sprinkled them all around a planter. So I'm going to have a bunch more growing in that area. And I know some people are probably going to think I'm crazy planting it, but you can make a poultice from the leaves. It's a very beneficial plant. I even bought a variety of plantain that's cultivated for eating it, for actual being edible. So, and it almost looks like a salad green. And I got those from Baker Creek. I'm not sure if they still have them, but they have a variety. They had or have a variety of plantain that is for they're really wide and roughly leaves. But it's the same species, just a different cultivar. But this right here, I would be growing as a living Band-Aid for skin and topical uses. That's how I would use it. If you have a different way of using plantain, go ahead and comment below. I grow both the narrow. This English plantain is a narrow leaf variety, but I grow narrow leaf and as well as a wider leaf variety. And I'm going to be planting the ones that have the like really roughly wide leaves as well. And I'm going to try to keep them in different areas. So there's medicinal purposes for it, from respiratory issues, sinus issues, ear infections, bladder infection. Again, you need to do your own research on how to do it, how to use it, if it's good, if you think it's safe. It's up to you. Okay. I use it topically for bug bites and small abrasions. So this is what I like to use for that. I don't like to chew things up because I'm always concerned about bacteria in the mouth. So I just put a little bit of water and I just kind of macerate it with like mortar and pestle, and then put it on, and it's really nice. So you can use this for bug bites and stings. For actual like bee stings, I use meat tenderizer. I know that sounds weird. Meat tenderizer, baking soda, and water is what I use for bug bites, for really bad stings. But I use plantain leaves for small abrasions and like mosquito bites and stuff like that. So, and then you have your salve recipe here, which is really sweet. Thank you for including that. And of course, the planting information here. And this is also a perennial, so it's going to come back year to year. This is going to be beautiful. And if you want to try them out, you can go to Mizz Tizzy's on Etsy, or you can also buy them from Emma Gardner. We've got this golden or Goldie ground cherry, and I love growing ground cherries. They are so good. We wait for the little husk. It'll be like a little lantern around your ground cherry, and they fall to the ground. That's when you pick them. Do not pick them off the plant. Let them fall to the ground. Then you dehusk it. Just pull the little paper off. It's got like a little candy wrapper, basically. And if it's green, put it in a bowl in the fridge and just let it ripen. You want them to be orange or yellow. You do not want them to be green. If they're green, they are not edible. They are not edible until they are fully ripe. And that's one of the reasons why you don't pick it off the plant, because they will be green. You want them to fall off. They're more mature at that point. You can also squeeze the seeds out, and then eat the fruit, and that way you have seeds. But you're going to probably have so many seeds, you're fine. But I'm like a seed addict, you guys. I like to squeeze it out a little bit, get the seeds, and then also eat the fruit. So I'm like that though. I like to get both. I like to get both of them, the seeds and the fruit. And oh, look, she has a recipe in here for this one. I've never made anything out of it. I don't know if I'd make the jam. I'm not sure. I might try it someday, but honestly, I would just rather eat them right out of the garden. Or maybe like make a kind of salsa. Kind of like, I can't have mangoes because I'm allergic, but this would be like in place of like a mango in salsa would be really good. Like a almost sweet, a sweet salsa, but it's not that sweet. I wouldn't treat it, even though it's technically a fruit, I wouldn't treat it like a fruit. I would use it as a, just in a salad or in a salsa, or just fresh fresh out of the garden is also very great. So, and then after I have these seeds, I'm never going to need to buy them again because I'm going to seed save. I basically was too generous in giving away seeds and then didn't have enough for myself. So I'm going to reinvigorate my seed stock by seed saving in the future. I did buy a few other varieties of ground cherry from Baker Creek. My last seed packet from Mizz Tizzy's Weeds and Seeds store is called Patio Baby Mini Eggplant. And the reason I got them is because they're really small. And my theory is I'm going to get more fruit out of the plant. It's more likely I'll get fruit if they're a smaller variety. So we'll see about that. We'll see if my hypothesis is correct. I just actually planted Black Beauty eggplant the other day in a little container. I have it outside. It has a little, plastic dome on it. And so I think it will be fine out there. We'll see if it grows outside. I actually usually start eggplants on a heat mat, which is probably what I'll do with these, especially since they're a little bit more expensive than the Dollar Tree seeds I had. The plant only grows about 20 inches tall, and the fruits are about 3 inches. So that's going to be super tiny and adorable. And you got your seed, your information here. You've got a couple of different recipes, the grilled eggplant and as well as the aioli that goes with it. And so on the back, it has information on how to grow them. Very self-explanatory. They do like to be warm. So I am doing an experiment outside with the cheap seeds. And we'll see if that works. I'll update you if it does. But I'm going to start these on a heat mat, and I'm going to do that probably tomorrow. But I'm very happy with the quality of the information the lady has provided me, and she has her shop on Etsy if you want to check her out. Let's go ahead and get over to our Baker Creek seed order now. I did buy some Papalo from Mizz Tizzy on Etsy, but I also bought it again from Baker Creek because I know I just have this strong, intense feeling, probably like the intense flavor of the Papalo, that this is going to be a real hit with my family. So it is an intensely flavored herb that's like cilantro, and it also helps repel pests. So I like the idea of using it as a deterrent to keep pests out of the garden. An edible deterrent is like my style. I definitely like to do that. I also use things like nasturtium as a trap crop. I love nasturtium. It's beautiful. But if you have a real problem with aphids, nasturtium will attract them to themselves, and then the aphids will spare your other plants. This one here will be more of a deterrent instead of an attractant. But you can use both processes to keep your garden, I wouldn't say pest-free, but in balance. Yes, I did buy some more ground cherries. I said I did, didn't I? So this variety is called Mary's Niagra. And I do have, I think it's called Aunt Molly's and something Hanover, New Hanover, something like that already. So I wanted to get, all the different varieties because I want to do a taste test and see which ones I like the best. I think the varieties I've had in the past are just, basic, not necessarily a named variety, but I've loved them. So I want to check them out and see which variety I like the best. And if I like all of them, I'll just plant all of them. But if there's a superior flavor or superior plant, then I can seed save for those attributes. So this one's called Mary's Niagra, and I will be planting these this year. And it does say to start them indoors 6 to 8 weeks before last frost, which right now I think I'm at 5 weeks, but they don't take as long to produce fruit as a tomato plant. So I'm okay with starting them a little bit late. I'm just going to transplant them out once they're a nice sized plant. And we'll see how they taste, and I'll update you later. But I did get some from Mizz Tizzy, and now I've got this other flavor variety as well. Strawberry spinach is another variety I got from Baker Creek. I've planted these before, but they were underwhelming. because the fruits were very tiny and like had no flavor. But the commercials for this say that they're very nice, and I'm going to give them another chance. It's been like a decade since I planted them before, so it's worth growing, and you can eat the greens like spinach, and you can also use the berries. So the greens and the berries are both edible, and it's very old fashioned, and it will definitely be something that people will talk about. But like, your berries have fruit, or your greens have fruit on them. What is that all about? And then you can have a little garden conversation there. It will be a little a talking prompt for those of you who are shy and have nothing to talk about, like me. Um, and then my last seed variety from Baker Creek was the free seeds I got, which is baby milk bok choy. And I've never really been lucky with growing bok choy, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm not sure if it's my state, if it's Pacific Northwest, or if it's me, but I'm going to go ahead and give them another try because I think they're beautiful, and I love leafy greens and brassicas, and this is both. And it's highly nutritious. So I've got all different kinds. I've got greens for maybe making salsa. I'm going to be able to use this in my garden to deter pests. I've got some greens. I've got some greens that have fruit in them. We got a package. Let's rip it open and see what we've got inside. And the package wasn't much, but it's the inside that counts, right? This is like 5 pounds of hard red winter wheat berries, and they're organic, and I'm going to plant them. Yes, they are meant for wheatgrass, and I might try that, but my plan is to actually use these for seeds for long-term food security. I am giving some plants a second chance. I'm going to be doing some, I wouldn't say land race, but I'm going to be doing some comparisons with the different ground cherries. And if I like certain qualities of one and another, I might actually do a little bit of genetic mixing and make my own variety by getting the best of both worlds. So I've got all these different seeds from Baker Creek and from Mizz Tizzy's, and I am one happy gardener, y'all. Be good, be sweet, grow a gardener. What? Okay, be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat, and I will see you next time. Arrivederci.